You're tuned into ArtGoon Radio, brought to you by UTB Worldwide. It's just a lifestyle. Don't trip.
It's the man with the plan. I ain't Clark Kent, but some of the ladies do call me Superman. It's your boy, Big Cali.
We're ArtGoon.
It's your boy Marshall.
And this ArtGoon Radio, that was perfect. That was great.
Nah.
Yeah.
I wasn't trolling this time?
Nah, you weren't. I was waiting for something. I was like, I thought you were going to pause. Like he was going to bark or something. I don't know.
I'm chilling, man.
But anyway, man, feeling good, feeling great as usual. We back. And we got our special guest here today.
Hello.
Miss Mickey Taelor.
What's goody?
Coming in fresh from Oregon.
Portland, PDX, what's good?
How's that weather out there right now? Crazy?
Raining. Yeah, it's about to start. Yeah, gray season has started. It is among us.
Damn.
I have a question. When you landed, did you automatically start coughing from all the smog and fires from the different air quality from Portland to here?
No, but I did have a session when I landed, and when I got out of the session, I legitimately couldn't breathe when I went outside for a second. It was like,
Damn.
just from using my lungs so much,
See,
I guess,
man, It's fucked up out here.
No,
y'all.
you can see it when you fly in,
She's really breathing that top-notch air.
Top-notch air quality.
All them trees.
Yeah, I was going to say all them trees.
Yeah, that's some clean-ass air up there. So you come down to the LA area, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like smog.
So how's been back? Excuse me. How has being back home been? That was a lot of B's in one sentence, by the way. I don't know how I did that, but shout that out.
You were talking about Bloods on the...
Yeah, it's all his fault, right? Guys,
right.
That's Big C, man.
That's all him,
Big
not
Belly.
that man. Big Belly. Nah, but how's it been back home, man?
It's been great, actually. A friend of mine is getting married next year, so I came to help her maid of honor. So I had to go through that process. That was a little stressful.
Wedding split.
Yeah, learning all this save the date stuff and everything.
So you're a bridesmaid?
I'm a maid of honor.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're the one.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm the one.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
It's a lot of, totally, right? Yeah. So it was the 2 days of just intense bridezilla. But I love you, Mary. And I'm grateful. Thanks.
That was a great undercover shot right there. That was great.
Yeah, and then a friend of mine had a wedding as well, on Halloween. So that was the first time I ever got to
Wait a minute. So you went and planned the wedding?
Yeah, the beginning phases. So Mary's getting married in May. Mary in May. And then a friend of mine actually invited me to be a +1 to her friend's wedding. And so I got to see my first Halloween.
So you just been seeing a lot of weddings.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
A Halloween wedding sounds like. How was that?
It was actually really cool. The colors were we wore velvet. It was very gothic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, it was cool.
Was it open bar?
Open bar, and it was taco bar. So I was so excited because I'm in the PNW right now, which absolutely no good tacos are
you
there.
Have no Mexican food up there like that.
Well, they have it. It's just trash.
Damn.
So
we don't know what that's like.
We don't. Only time I
worst.
experienced something like that is when I was in Atlanta. Because all they had out there was Chipotle or Moe's.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you even know about Moe's. Do you know about
Never
Moe's?
heard of Moe's.
I don't know what that
Have
is.
you had Moe's?
Absolutely not.
Moe's is literally, everybody looking at me crazy as hell right now.
She said absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Moving right along with Moe's. No, that shit's weak.
What is it?
It's literally like a Mexican food place just like Chipotle, kind of.
And it's called Moe's.
It's called Moe's Mexican
like a
food.
barbecue spot.
M-O-E.
Moe's doesn't sound like...
For sure, sounds like a barbecue
Yeah.
or soul food restaurant.
They have it. You know what's funny? When I went back to Clark just now, side note, when I went to Atlanta this last time, they have a Moe's in my cafeteria now.
Did you get it?
Fuck no, I didn't get that. I don't eat that. I can't eat that food no more. But anyway, I looked at it. I wasn't trying to have heartburn all day and die. Anyway, moving right along though. Mickey, man, you're back out here. You moved out to Oregon. What made you move out to Oregon? What was that move coming from SoCal? Because I know most of your base was out here. All your music, if we look it up, has always been SoCal. All your visuals has been SoCal. Your music, you hear it all through it. You are a Southern California girl.
I'm the mermaid, yes.
What made you want to pack up and go out to Oregon and transfer and do that whole situation?
I think it was a bit of two things. The first thing, I wanted to transition. I needed a change. Coming from where we come from, we're always here. We're always in it. We're always in the mix.
And where are you from again? Like that, for people that don't know?
Yeah, I was born in Los Angeles. Then I moved to the Inland Empire. Then I went to college. I mean, after college, I went to Long Beach, so I'm literally a mix of those three, and I will rep all
Just
three.
SoCal
So
all the
you
way.
can just deal
I
with it.
I love the disclaimer. I'm
Yeah.
repping all three.
All three at all times. IE, LA, LBC. It's fine. I've had all the area codes. Leave me alone.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I just wanted to change a pace. I was like, I had worked myself out of the contract that I was in. And I was kind of at a crossroads, like go indie or go into another contract. And I wasn't inspired. I was going through the same shows, same circuit, same everything, and I was over it. So I've always been working in cannabis and music like simultaneously.
And you can hear that in your music too. I was gonna say that, especially the High Grade album. I was
She's
going
friendly.
through that.
No. So I think for me, my opportunities with cannabis just started to progress a little faster than music was at the time. And so that was just like follow where the wind takes you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was in the I had got an opportunity with a friend of mine to work for a corporate cannabis company. Shout out to you guys, you know who you are. And my
that
interview
was the sneakiest way. You did that great. Because you know that was coming. I was like, wait, what company? Nah.
So my interview was at the Long Beach airport. So here I am, like at the Long Beach airport, meeting with my potentially new boss for the interview. Nailed it. And he's like, you got 3 weeks, so figure it out and get to Portland. So I had 3 weeks to kind of like find a place, pack my stuff, sell my stuff, pack my car.
Damn.
Hold on. So you're telling me you went to you got an opportunity to work in this new cannabis company, and they literally gave you the ultimatum, like, okay, well, you have 3 weeks to come out here and just start. If you really gonna do it, pack up, come out here, figure it out.
Wow.
Definitely. And it was kind of at the right time. I felt like I was just hitting that like out of your 20s phase, and you're just done with whatever you already were doing and you want something different to be inspired.
Right.
So I was kind of already like, look, I'm set. Like just the money is already there. The money will get me the place.
Yeah.
I could bring my belongings in this car. The car will get me around.
Have
I
you
will be
ever
fine.
been up there before?
No, I'd never been to Portland.
Dang.
So that was a journey. It was like 3-day drive. My best friend, he drove with me. So we were like doing the coastal thing or whatever. And then now we're not even friends anymore because that journey was like way too long with one person in a car. Shout outs to that. If you love your friendships, don't go on road trips. If you don't,
I'm for sure not cool with some people I went on tour with.
I'm saying.
It's like, we cool.
Like,
For the
I don't,
most part,
I don't
we
even like the way you
straight, but,
move. Yeah. So that started. And then my journey started in Portland last year, like October 9th. So.
Damn, so you've been a whole year so far. You've been out there.
Whoop.
The first year in Oregon.
Whoop.
Tell me that first month out there coming from sunny California.
And it was fall time when you moved
Yeah.
out
It's
there.
so
right?
raining. It's
Yeah,
cold.
I hit the gray period. So when I got there, I had no idea about vitamin D and if like sufficiency or insufficient amount of it. I had no idea about seasonal depression, like none of that stuff, right? So I'm going into Oregon like, I got a new job, it's gonna be good, whatever. No, it was like death. It was literally like really hard to handle.
It was the humbling.
Mm-hmm.
The breaking.
Yeah, totally. And when I first moved there, I was renting a room through this like roommate app or whatever because I didn't know anything about Portland.
Wait,
I knew no one.
a
Yes,
roommate app?
It's called Roomie. Big up to y'all because y'all helped me girl out.
Damn.
Anyways, it was. You got to do what you got to do when you're ready to get where you want to go. So I looked at it like that. I got to get there. I got to get here. So I moved in.
For sure.
And I didn't know this person. So here I am with a stranger, living with a stranger. And then I'm always in the rain. Like
Damn.
not even like 72 and like sprinkle, like 40 degrees and like dumping. And then they don't use umbrellas out there because it's like a thing. They look at you like,
Wait,
you need help? Like
they just want you to be wet walking?
Yo, you got to buy shells. Like every jacket is water resistant. Every jacket, what I mean?
was that process of having the layers of buying coats?
Man, I wear a lot of
'Cause
dad
I
hats
don't have
now.
any big jackets right now. If it literally poured down raining, I have 3 UTB hoodies and some sweats and maybe like an overcoat somewhere.
Yeah.
You about to
Bruh.
just be soaked.
The majority of my clothes were like crop tops, cut off shorts, Vans, sandals,
SoCal.
denim, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I had to literally redo everything, and you have to learn how to like adjust to the terrain and living in those conditions. And you just learn. Like that was October to December. And then March came around and I started getting bit by spiders. Like I got bit by a brown recluse, had to get stitches. Skin was all crazy. And then I was like, I'm out of here. Like I'm done
I
with this
remember
place.
that time too.
I was like,
when you said
I'm
it.
moving out. It's over. But through that experience, I learned about like my blood type and like just, you learn different things about yourself when you're in
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
places and stuff happens. So,
Right.
and then it was like right after that, when I was supposed to come here in June,
Yeah.
Black Widow bit me, and it was just like, all right, go through that process. So it's been a lot of like
So you
healing.
got bit by 2 spiders.
2 spiders in 3 months. 2 of the most deadliest spiders in 3
That's
months.
wow, man.
Yeah, so
someone's praying
that's
for
been
you.
my organ. Yeah, my grandma's up there. I love you.
So, like, when you moved out there, did you know anybody up there, like any music plugs or like producers? or
Absolutely
anything?
not.
So
No.
you just out there with just
Yeah,
out
so
there.
I had my connects that I have in Los Angeles, but didn't know that anybody would like counteract one another, you know.
Yeah.
But through cannabis, I was able to actually find like mutual people. So
Okay.
so and so found in a reggae spot that used to be boom, 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 and I sang down there and so years ago. So they're like, oh, you should probably just pop up to this place on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I would pop up and then I'd meet who I need to meet. And then, you know, you just get yourself situated and get in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Within the first, like, by the time the spider situation happened, by February, March, April, I was like, I had sold out my first show in Portland and it was on a Thursday.
That's
Wait a minute.
dope.
See,
Yeah.
I like how you said that real quick and sold up, but that's so you got there in October.
Yep.
November,
I had an
December, January.
audition.
So you had 3 months and then you sold out your show in
Yep.
90 days from not knowing nobody out there.
It was just,
What was that process like? What did you do? That sounds a little like A plus, like, what you just know?
I was
people now?
Instagram stalking, like not like stalking people, but following hashtags.
Yeah.
So it'd be like PDX artists, PDX music venues, PDX hip hop. And I would just literally spend like hours at a time kind of going through, seeing who's Instagram, who had 10,000 or more, who had
Yeah.
access to so-and-so, boom. And I would just pop up or something like sit a DM. And then because I was over that 5K mark, people feel like they could talk to you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, so it's like, oh, I could
That
actually
good
like,
on number.
I might respond now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not 2 years ago, but I might respond now. So that turned into that. And yeah, it
I
just
see that a lot
ended up
with
working out.
different people that I come across, like people I probably hit up like at one point and they didn't really answer
Yeah.
the DM, and then now they're like hitting me up. you know.
Totally, yeah.
It's a good thing, but then it kind of like that's where you kind of humble yourself a little bit. You gotta be like, it's just a part of the game.
It's the internet.
It's
Just
the
play
internet.
the game.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Just play the
You gotta, like,
game.
just tell yourself that.
Yeah, totally.
But nah, so like your first show out there, like who are you working with? Like how'd you even put that together?
Yeah, so my first producer in LA that I first started working with, his name was Day One. Shout out to him. He's not my manager. Boom. That is so interesting. It like hits you in a, yeah. Right. Okay. So he like told me, oh, you should reach out to somebody named Trox, and Trox is actually a producer DJ from the Pacific Northwest. I reached out to him via Instagram, and then I saw this thing called Thesis all over the place, and it was like an every month hip hop showcase where they showcase all local artists within the Portland community and the hip hop world, urban scene.
Yeah.
So I started pulling up to a couple, checking them out. I ended up meeting this guy named Max Smith, and he's the one who kind of coordinates everything. And then they were like, you can do an audition. So I did. They gave me like 15 minutes, an opener, like back in Valentine's Day. And people were rocking with me. They were vibing. And then everybody was doing the Instagram, following. So I kept retweeting that information, like those videos, all that content.
Mhm.
And then by the end of March, that's when they were like, yo, we can put you on the bill, we want a headline, you da-da-da-da.
That's lit.
And Portland, they don't really pay artists out there. Like, that's the thing that I do feel sorry for y'all, because I could never fly where we from. But, they're giving them beer and like food for like 30 minutes, hours of their time. And it's like, I'm not really coming from where I'm coming from, where we were putting kind of through like a training process.
Well,
Yeah.
before you even moved to Portland, what most people don't know, you had a very established career out here. You have a very established
I've been
career
doing
in
music
Southern
11
Cal.
years. It's been 11 years. Started in June. So this past June, it'll be 11 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So 2020 is like my over 10,000 now. Like it's 10,000 and independent. So I'm like past the 10,000 hours and I'm like on the independent side. So
That's
Right.
dope.
it's definitely
In the process
different place to
from you from October to February, did you record any like new music and perform that at that show?
I did record a song and did use like maybe just the verse and like the front hook of it,
Mhm.
just to kind of read the crowd or
Yeah,
whatever.
see how it went.
They all didn't know any of my music anyways, because I'm in Portland, so I'm brand new anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't want to the stuff I'm recording in Portland is really soft. And for the first time, I think maybe the rain and the trees and just everything is so like a movie. I'm just writing very soft and like I'm singing very soft.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ready to be like on stage going from like, move your body like it, and then ooh, you know what I mean? It's just like it was like throwing people off. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to go there that far.
Because
I wasn't comfortable yet.
I was going to ask if like moving from here to there in a whole different environment, like with that, did that have an effect on your music?
Oh yeah, from like October until about January, I couldn't really write at all because it was just crying and like mad and like me deciding, man, F this, I'm just about to get back in my car and drive back home. Like I'm done here, and this learning curve, and they're very passive aggressive. So you have to learn how to like not be direct, but not be direct. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it was all training. So that was hard. And I just couldn't focus on music. But after New Year's, which is like my favorite holiday, You can see the fireworks like out in the mountains. Like they look like shooting stars because there's so many trees. You don't really see the houses. So I live on waterfront, which is like right in front of the Willamette River, you know. Because at the beginning they told me Willamette. I was saying Willamette, and they were like, that's a Cali thing. That's
I was the same way.
You'll get it later. Your podcast members will. But you could sit at the edge of the edge of the river, and you can look up at this mountain, and you see like fireworks just like popping off out of nowhere, and it just
sat at the edge of a river on New Year's and was
like
looking at fireworks over a mountain.
Mm-hmm. But I was by myself, peaceful. Bro. It was very peaceful. Yeah, you're like alone. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of in this solitude.
No smog.
No, breathing like great air. Yeah, the ducks was coming. It's unreal. I do get like why everybody's like, oh my God, it's beautiful. But
do you think you've gotten tired of it, or do you like it now more?
I think I've just now felt like I'm settled enough to be like, now let me enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's tight. They got about a year left out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because like I miss the beach, I miss the sun, like just even being out here, like catching myself just standing there with my eyes closed. Like I didn't even realize how much of the sun affects who we are if we were already raised here.
Hell yeah.
And when
I can't
even
imagine.
I'll be outside all day. I can't imagine being somewhere where it's like no
you going
sun.
to work, you going to the gym, you going to eat, and you going home. And in between those, you're getting wet the whole time. Like, and then
that's so dark.
And then you driving, everybody drive 40 miles an hour. You know, nobody blinks. Like, they got bikers coming out like it's free. Man, I sold my car within the first 4 months because I almost drove into so they have a streetcar. So you know how we have like Metrolink. It's over there. It's on the link. You know how we got Blue Line. It's on the line. It's established within the city where it's at.
Yeah.
This thing goes on the regular streets, goes on one-way streets, passing Burger Kings.
Like a train?
It's like rails. It's not even like how San Francisco is set up.
I
It's
know
just
what
like
you're talking about.
it's like a streetcar rail thing that just goes everywhere. Like it just boom, like it just takes over. And I got stuck in a couple one-way streets and just anxiety in the rain. Like it's just an unsafe environment for me to be driving.
I hate driving in the rain, so having to do it when I have to get around most of the
crossing
year
bridges.
and
real rain too.
And
real
in a
rain.
city I'm not from or never been around.
And crossing bridges.
I'm probably not making this city, but I can see the race like, oh fuck yeah.
And crossing bridges.
Low key, like if we've been out, let's say, well, not even say been out. If there's 20 different events that were happening while it was raining, we maybe only went to like 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That'll like stop our whole entire
Oh
life.
no,
like, we're not going out.
They will go to all 20.
You have to if it rains
They will
that much.
have costumes and change outfits with layers on for each one. So each photo that they're at is a different thing. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
That's rare.
Yeah. But
so are you used to rain by now?
Yeah, I'm used to rain by now.
So if it rained out here right now, it'd be like nothing to you.
I wouldn't even need an umbrella.
She'll laugh at us probably.
I would laugh. Freaking out. I'm like, man, it's raining.
Yeah.
I gotta get out the car now and get wet.
I don't have a jacket.
I don't have nothing.
I'm telling you, so imagine going through all of that by yourself, 1,000 miles away from everything. Like, and you don't even have a studio yet. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't even go. I didn't get the studio set up till January. So I couldn't even go to like release the anger and the sadness and all of that. I was just like dealing with all of it. And you're pouting because where we come from, we're spoiled.
We are.
And you as a songwriter, like, because for people that know, just to give a little context, you come from a background writing too also.
Yeah. I've been a ghostwriter for about 7.5 years. I worked for a company that was just like a indie subsidiary of a larger company. Mm-hmm. And the management would just essentially hire me out to link in with these new artists that are coming up. And I would help them with like studio etiquette training or write some of the lyrics just dead ass or, that's pretty much it.
And artwork, basically.
Yeah. And like like co-writing and stuff. Also, I would go to a lot of writing camps. So I am friends with a bunch of like different,
I've been seeing these writing camps
and stuff. They've been around forever.
I just got turned on to them because I'm like, I guess that's the new norm.
Everybody's getting exposed.
Yeah, it's coming out. Like, all right, this is the wave. Like Beyonce and all of them will literally hire the best people in the gang and put them up in a big mansion with chefs, and they just create for months.
Yep.
And they give it all to Beyonce, and then she just picks and cherry and does what she does, and everybody becomes rich. It's like
shout out Alton for Arizona.
That's called The Machine.
So with that being said, you as a songwriter, you didn't have that release to even, did you notice your songs was even, you say you couldn't even write, but did you notice once you did start writing, it just dramatically was different?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so soft. I'm so more vulnerable now. My lyrics are way more accessible as far as like the story. You can tell it's like a girl who's going through something, not really me, but me just like making a story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being more open to writing the story. I'm singing a little more romantically. I'm writing a little more romantically. I was very direct and like SZA-esque or like, Kendrick singy kind of vibey pattern cadence wise.
Yeah.
And now it's very like ride the melody out, let the space go, breathe, think about it, cry a little bit. It's okay, no one's here.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you getting broke? I don't want to say broken down,
Definitely
but like
broken.
literally broken down with an organ.
Definitely
literally,
Bro, I have spider like scars. Okay, broken.
and that acquired to possibly your new whole wave of what's coming, and that's I think a lesson in it because you were out there on like faith. Like I don't know why you're out there on a job working in the cannabis industry. And I want to touch on that too a little bit.
Sure,
but you were out there on the job, but it ended up leaking over to your art, and it's coming out great because you have the new single, Tiger Stripes, which is kind of
Tiger Club.
All right.
Yeah, no, you get
yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about that, how did that even come about?
Yeah, so when I first moved there, I was renting a room, and underneath my apartment complex, there was this donut shop called Coco Donuts, and I would go there all the time. My little homegirl, she would make me a little coffee in the morning, and I would sing her some of my music from my password. And she was like, oh my God, nah. There was a guy who came in. His name is Kelly, who is the producer of Tiger Cub. To rewind, he came in. She was playing my music. He was like, where is this from? She's like, he lives upstairs. Studio ended up being 2 blocks away from my apartment.
Damn.
The whole time. The whole time. So the whole time, October, January, I'm over here cashing out because I'm coming with money because I don't know anybody. And they acting like, oh, you California. So, it's always, where's your money at?
Yeah.
And,
I love that Cali tax.
Yeah,
it's
so everywhere. Like, it's so stupid. So, and it ended up being blocks away. So I just went to one. I set up a session, and he found me on Instagram. We set up a session, and he's a really cool dude. He had a good vibe. Mm-hmm. And then that's when things started changing. So from there, I think the music was just like, write this story. Like I needed to find a single. That was my manager was saying, like, you need to find a single. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, well, I need to figure out what story I'm going to write. And Tiger Cup just came about. I was in the studio with him. He plays a trumpet. It was crazy, crazy cool. Like you'll hear the horn in there. Yeah. And it just made me think of like a relationship. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy. They go to carnival. He wins her the stuffed animal. And then from the song, the view that you're supposed to be looking at, which is how the visual will look, the music video, is from his eyes, the eyes of this stuffed animal. So she'll throw him at him and he'll throw it at her. It'll end up in the backseat of a car or might end up on the ground in the rain because it's going to be Portland, so it's going to be raining. So, I'm excited about it. The single comes out November 15th. And then the video will come out some time after Christmas.
Have you shot the video yet?
It's in the works. We've already shot 2 scenes, but I'm still,
I was going to say, that's a good idea. I don't want no one to hear this and steal
that. I was like, man.
Too late. We already got that content on film. Okay.
That mess, and I heard the track. I heard some of the first cuts of it. I haven't heard the final version of anything. And you having the feature on there, correct, too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. Yeah, Sage Woolley. He's actually a Portland native. So I was recording in this studio called it's called Hallowed Halls. The engineer's name is After Dark. And he was like, yo, I have a rapper.
Any engineer named After Dark.
Yo, he's a merman too. His studio is in the basement. It's all blue. He's got this long, crazy blonde hair, ice blue eyes. But he's like hip hop. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
That's
it's
very
great.
Portland right now.
The aesthetic is so Portland. It's ridiculous. But it's cool though because we communicate. Out of all the other engineers, I haven't been able to really communicate with him. So Art built the beat. After Dark he did the session. The engineer did the mixing, mastering, and then Sage Woolley was a reference from him. And I came and I listened to him. And I'm like, yo, you got a crazy voice. I thought he was way older. The kid's only 20. Doesn't even have a drive. Just got his driver's license in Oregon type of vibe.
Wow.
So
damn.
Yeah.
And he killed it.
And he killed it. Yeah, he did a great job. After that, we ended up doing 2 more songs that day in the studio.
Oh, so we got
some more heat going. I might, turn into a little Fuji. I have this other guy who's a singer, so the 3 of us might kind of make a little remake, a little Fuji.
Hey, you just dropped 4 bombs right now, right?
Oh yeah,
now.
totally. I told you. It's
dope.
I'm up there hiding out.
So it's coming. The creative juices are
2020,
there.
Mickey for 2020. The campaign starts here.
So what do we have? Well, I don't even want to go there. That's the lie, man.
Too far. Let's
I was gonna go where are we going into 2020? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
man,
definitely expect a new project from me. And I know people have been a lot of my fans. I haven't put a project out in now 3 years. So
what was the last? It was
Essentials.
Essentials,
yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm. That's when I was working with Willie B and Champions Only and all of them. So that experience, that was my LA time. I feel like I graduated, I needed a little break. And then here we are now, just kind of reintroducing some of the old music I was already making. I started in reggae. So I wasn't even doing hip hop until about 7 years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was 19 singing in reggae clubs and weddings and stuff. So, and that was to pay through college. That was how I was getting around that and cannabis.
What was your first project? When did you make your first project?
I made my first project in 2009. Yep, in Rialto.
Okay.
with this, as part of this company called Phenom Music, and they were like this small little writing camp. And we started. That was my first project. But when I first started making music, I was like 19, and I was in a reggae band called Roots Collective.
So were you ever a part of the era of like having to slang your own mixtape?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's where High Grade
You was in the
Volume 1.
streets?
That's why I got High Grade Volume 1, High Grade
Okay.
Volume 2.
Okay.
I have a project called Half Baked, which is really funny. Actually was putting out a project. Yeah, it has like some of the movie clips in there on my Bandcamp. So that's like, if you ever wanted to hear my history of like when I started from 2009 till right now, 2019, it would be MickeyTaylor.bandcamp.com.
That's lit.
And it's like maybe like 9 different projects. And
That's
you can
the-
hear the
That's
voice.
the best thing about the internet is that it's a
You can always
database.
get back.
Yeah.
You can
Like,
always
okay,
look
they've
back.
been doing this.
Yeah,
all
that's
that.
the hub. Yeah.
I can't lie. When I first heard your music was through that song you did with Richard Wright. Mary
That's
Jane.
my boy. Yeah, Richard Wright's my
And
boy.
I love that first song when I first heard it with
Yeah, it's a
Richard
dope
Wright's song.
song.
And then
Mhm.
when
The video's
y'all did it
awesome.
together, it's like a whole new situation.
Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to be the Mary that he was talking about in the first song, and then we remade it to that. So we never made a video for that, but we're actually planning a tour next year together. So
That's
it'll
Hey,
all
because
work
Richard
out.
Wright's new album was crazy.
Yeah, right.
too.
Him, my boy Pistol, Waju, like Huss, like we all. That's when I kind of left out of IE and went into Long Beach after Cal Poly. It was like those are the people that I first connected, and like that was the lane, that Lamert Park crew. I was going to all those like, the space for the studios, and Mike West was helping me record and learn my voice and stuff. So I've been around for sure.
That's
Damn.
lit.
You put in definitely that sweat.
Oh, I've been
those
putting in
hours,
work. I've been
man.
spending the night in the studios and paid for studios and figured it out.
So what would you say is the main difference you see in the music industry now from like slinging your own music to now the streamings? Do you feel like it's more money now, less money, or do you like the business side of it? Because you've seen all aspects of the music industry, at least from it's growing, because you've been doing it for a decade plus.
decade,
Yeah. No, definitely a difference. I think with the way music is going now, you can still like get it hand to mouth, so to speak, or trunk to retailer consumer. But I think the internet just gives you the ability to do it and multitask. So if you're not using it, it's kind of like working against your benefit because
Yeah.
it's there, like it's
Yep.
there. So it's really just your own. What I learned, and this is about being when I got separated from Cali, like you have to be self-motivating. And that's your passion. That's your project. I
Right.
no longer had handlers. I no longer had a budget. I no longer, that
Yeah.
wasn't not just mine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, because you had a whole label.
I had a
you whole
team. I had a
situation, then-
situation that was set up correctly for me to succeed, and we did succeed. We did really well. You guys were talking about Japan, and that was a whole thing. My music got moved out there, and we did really well on the charts that way with R&B. But I was just, I'm ready. I was ready for something else.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, the second thing I wanted to bring up with is with the cannabis side of it, because we
Yeah.
touched on a little bit of the music, but I want to talk about how the cannabis is tied into your music a lot too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I just know, especially I always bring up the High Grade album because that's just like one of my smoking albums I just go to. Like, literally, the way you talked about it, you don't ever really necessarily say weed or kush or you literally use every other word to use and go around, kind of like how Rick James made Mary Jane too, the same way. And I feel like that's something that I like about it, because I don't even want to necessarily call your music stoner music or like, but it is just good music to smoke to, but it's also like very beautiful R&B also.
Yeah.
Can you talk about
appreciate
how'd
that.
you like, how'd you form that's a hard line to go.
Yeah, no, I totally feel you. I think I was blessed starting in reggae first, because reggae is one of those foundational musics.
Mhm.
So learning 6-bar blues, learning how music is constructed in one drop and the different rhythms and understanding the levels of music. I always had that as my training background, right? So then going into hip hop, I knew I never wanted to go like divulge straight into being a hip hop female artist or a super R&B like Deborah Cox out the closet artist either.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out a way to blend the two. And I think it just worked to my benefit. When I finally found hip hop, I listened to a lot of rap, and I would like figure out that reggae is kind of like similar, but slowed down. And then I'm singing. So like match the two. And I'm a soundtrack to what I like to do the most, smoke. So if I'm
Right.
smoking, what would be the soundtrack? I'm that music. I should be that voice. So then I just started creating stories around that and like trying to figure out how my life could intertwine or the people around me could intertwine to whatever the beats that I was hearing at the time.
Were you getting like sponsorships and like opportunities from cannabis in the beginning, like early stages of when it was getting legal in California?
Yeah, so like I was the Jungle Boys girl for a minute. I definitely did like the Chiba Chew girl thing. I was Corova. Oh my God, the 500 milligram black bars. I used to go to parties with them and like have to pass those.
Wait,
out
you're
for
passing out 500 milligrams?
What the hell is
black
that?
bars.
Those are
not even
edibles.
exist.
Crazy.
It's the
Don't
Four
touch 'em.
Loco. It was
Don't
the Four
touch 'em.
Loco. It was the
Oh
Four
my
Loco
God.
of like edibles. It's the Four Loco of edibles. It's gnarly. I don't even know if they have them still in California. I haven't been around in a while. But
Look at Reese.
yeah, the limit.
He hates edibles. He hates edibles.
Edibles are
Can't stand them.
Edibles are intense.
If there was a way to scale out it being the same every single time, or like something being a certain dosage, then I think I'll like them. But
Yeah.
the times that I fucked up, I took a little piece of something and it just folded me.
No, I totally understand. Cannabis is really, really interesting of a substance, right? And you're chemicals already. So if you think about, you're doing science with yourself every time. And the way you ingest that is going to give you a totally different reaction or
Completely
effect
different.
compared to any other person.
Yeah.
Did you learn that more so being so into the cannabis industry as opposed to being like the customer side?
Yeah, definitely. I got into cannabis at first just by bud-tending and receptioning. I used to work at Dank Depot.
Hey, I used to go to, was that in Long Beach?
It was in Long Beach. Off of
Dank
PCH.
Depot had gas on the little
So
store.
I
I had a
always
real
started
ghetto
high.
moment. I was like, oh shit, I used to go to Dank Depot.
Yeah,
I did not know you worked at Dank Depot.
Oh yeah, I was like head bud tender for the longest.
Man, me and Steve-O used to go there.
Damn.
Yeah, that
Shout
was
out
the
to
spot.
O.
Yeah.
Shout out the O.
But my boss was crazy. She was like this Native American Cherokee woman that was like, but she had ice blue eyes and brunette hair and like she looked Italian. And she would just, everybody needs to know what it is that you're selling. So she would like give us books and like make us read articles and she would teach us stuff. So I really did learn the science behind it. I got into the grow room at one point and was like starting that process and figuring out that. And then I was like, nope, don't want to do this. Too much energy exchange. You know what I mean? You're like growing things and they're like, yeah, it's too much. Harvesting is hard.
It's way too deep.
Yeah, it's
especially
really
when you
deep.
get into where it's the actual industry.
And the
of-
pheno, and you have to do this duplicate all the time. It has to come to consistent results every single time, or that pound drops in weight, that pound drops in price. Like
Yeah.
it's just like the wine industry at this point, which is why I'm pretty excited. Like when I got the opportunity to interview, I was like, hell yeah. I got there. The company only lasted like 4 months. And so I was unemployed for a month, 1,000 miles away.
Wait, slow down.
Oh, yeah.
So the original job you went up there for, that was in the cannabis
It's not
industry.
the job I have now. Yeah, no.
Damn.
So the original job I was working in sourcing, right? So I was going to farms, picking up 500, 600 pounds at a time and taking them to these distillate farms so that they would be
Trapping.
processed into,
Wait, you were over here with the 600 Ps?
Yeah, but it's way different up there. They have like barcodes from seed to sell. Everything is tracked. Like they literally have a time and a manifest of like, you got to be from point A to point B in 2 hours. And we'll know if you don't have that signature with that time on the other side, like you're getting fined 2 racks. Like stuff like that.
Damn.
Oregon don't play. They figured out a way to like make it
It's efficient.
blue collar for sure. But the company was a Canadian-owned company, so I think there was just situations. Everybody is different. So next thing you know, people was getting laid off, and the company was closing down. So I was like, man, I got to figure this out. And I just started applying, and I was like, I have the experience. It's a legal industry. Let me just get a weed resume, like legit. Like, why don't I just make a weed resume? And then the second I started doing that, I went on Indeed, and there was like 275 herb jobs. It's like, what?
Damn.
3 hours, I was just clicking, going through. I knew that I wanted to work in corporate cannabis because that's how I got there. And, having health insurance and having benefits was important to me because I'm 1,000 miles away from everything I know. What if something happens,
Mm-hmm.
And after 6 interviews, I got the company I work for now. And they're actually the first ever, like, publicly traded company. They're one of the first dispensaries and cannabis corporations on the West Coast in California.
Wait
So
a
I
minute.
actually
this
worked
is
for like
traded on the stock market now?
Oh yeah, we're publicly traded on the stock market, like 401k. I got like yeah.
That's
Like
lit.
I'm in there now as far as like pioneering yourself through a new industry.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Is that the future of where cannabis is going?
Oh,
It's
for
about
sure.
to become just straight corporate now? Like,
Yeah, I mean it's just like television, right? Or radio, anything like that. There's these 5 major like companies that own these, and then you have all these little umbrella subsidiaries of them, and it's gonna be the exact same thing. The difference with Portland and
mhm.
Oregon is that they keep it craft. They don't like turn it into like, we have a taco session that's like 1,500 people and everybody we come from Kentucky or whoever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely different there. It's very like a store. Like you're walking into one that looks like Forever 21. You're walking into mine and mine looks like a train station. Like mine is like an old throwback kind of train station vibe. So.
Do you even think, so that's the major difference you would say between the cannabis industry in California California and the cannabis industry in Oregon is just aesthetic wise and just how it's ran? Or because honestly, Oregon's been legal longer, hasn't it been?
Yeah,
Than California?
Yeah, and Oregon they did medical first. So like when, they did it right first, I'll say that. When you were talking about dosages and stuff like that, they actually have edibles that are that way. They're screened out like that. And it blew my mind when I got there. I was like, whoa, this is intense. I've never seen this before because I was growing up off Rice Krispie treats and,
The
there's
homie
no
made
consistency.
chocolate
with
dip
that.
bars. There's no consistency out here.
Yeah.
But I think the difference really is that California is too big to even be completely blue market like Oregon is. We still gonna have the black market. There's no way you can't tell me I can't do what I need to do if I own this house in the hills and you can't get to me within 45 minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Touche.
So that's how that's getting down. And we have so many abandoned buildings that people can just pop up, buy a whole bunch, have some girls, open for 3 months, get some return, close down, and be out the way. That's impossible.
That's every dispensary in the Inland Empire.
Yes.
Seen.
That's
Honestly, they all like come for like 2 months, 3 months.
That's
and
planned.
then you love them.
That is planned.
Like you really start becoming like
That is
fans of
planned.
these dispensaries, and then
I will say Paris got it figured out though.
Yeah.
They might have either, a lot of
Yeah.
the places, you can purchase the licenses, but they're grandfathered, right? So it's back pre-ICO, like 2007, 2008. So you're like buying a liquor license essentially. And some of these are like $7.2 million and they come with the space and the people already, but you got to just come with the capital. That's the difference from here than there. You can still like
That's
go to
crazy.
OLCC and sit in this, like I had to go to a town hall meeting with like the governors right here talking about vaping.
Damn.
That's not happening in California.
Why do you think it's not happening? It's just too big.
It's too big. It's too big. It's too many markets. And we got too many dirty and clean people living in one big state. You get what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
It's too much of a mix for you to
Everybody
just
just
try to
clean it.
Drinking
regulate.
from it too long. like-
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. There's like cartel and infrastructure that have been here for so long
Yeah.
that, honestly feed the community and feed the people that they're around in their, their environment. So if you take that infrastructure away, imagine what you would do if you know what I mean? To the whole district.
What now? Here's a question I just want to know because I haven't been to Oregon yet. I'm planning to go soon. How do you rate the marijuana in tasting wise and potency from what you've had in Southern California to out there?
California got the best weed.
Everybody says that.
California got the best weed.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to outdoor, when you're thinking about like growing some flower outdoor, like, oh my gosh, like Mother Earth, it should grow,
Yeah.
Oregon got some fire. Like they have some fire, but there's nothing like California herb. And a lot of it is because we started in indoor. We started in hydro. We had to hide. We had to go inside. We had to be scientists first. They just throwing stuff out there with the sun and letting it grow.
Our shit's like scientifically made
Nitro,
to be the most
CO2.
gases,
Yeah,
fires weed
we are
possible.
making that. Yeah, we made the X-Men of weed, like all terpenes and trichomes and all that, manipulating that. We started that.
Yeah.
That in Denver, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Straight
that
up.
would probably be the second best. I would say they got the best indoors, Denver, but they also are like Marlboro.
I haven't been to Portland, but I went to Denver. We went to a match shop and it was cool. Like,
It gets you high.
yeah, it gets you
That's
high.
Oregon. That's literally
But
Oregon.
we blew through that weed.
Yeah.
Don't they have like brands like Jungle Boys and like cookies and like all those brands like that we have out there? Don't they have it out there too?
They're farms. So they have major farms that like dispense to all the different retail spaces. So if you're a connoisseur shopper and you only want, shout out Deep Creek Farms, you're going to be going to stores where only that flower is sold. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But that's the only way to really like alienate certain parts of the market in that regard.
That's
Is there,
too deep.
is there any other area like outside of Portland, like Eugene or anything that's like
Yeah, I
popping with that?
Eugene, yeah. So
Yeah.
my sister's store is actually in Eugene.
Okay.
So the company I work for, Harborside, they purchased 2 new spaces, one in Portland, one in Eugene. I run Portland. My sister's store my counterpart runs Eugene, but it's 3 hours out.
Mhm.
So you're doing like hippies versus millennials. So our stores are
Okay.
still 2 separate. They're 2 different markets.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, there's over 200 and something stores and like 900 farms in the state of Oregon. And then like
What?
per capita, the most strip clubs. So
I always hear that
Yeah,
too.
I always hear the
they
strip
got
club part.
the strip clubs got bomb vegan food though.
Wait, what?
Dead.
Per
You
capita.
Vegan
just blew
food?
fucking.
Yeah.
You just blew his mind.
Wait a
right
minute, it's
now.
vegan food at the strip club?
There's vegan food everywhere in Portland, first off,
See,
and
that's why I'm trying to
definitely
go.
at the strip club.
Damn, plant-based Big Cali got to go
Yep.
to fucking
He might-
Plant-based Big Cali got to go to
I'm done.
Portland.
plant-based.
Plant-based Big Cali.
Goes to Portland.
Eating cauliflower wings.
Yeah, I was
Yep,
just gonna say, they be
cauliflower wings
dipping
at the
them
strip
wings.
club. Smoking gas. Chilling, man.
How is the beer up there?
The beer is great. Yeah, I mean, beer, coffee, and like outdoors is
Yeah.
like what Portland or Oregon in general is kind of known for.
I went to Portland. I've probably been like 3 times, but like in my younger 20s when like I really didn't like care to go to like bars and like try new good
Of
beer.
course, yeah.
So now I know I would be like all the way on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. They have this thing called a pub crawl, which is really cool. So you're like on this like bicycle that has 13 people around it with this top, and you just like this little maneuvered bicycle thing, and you're just drinking, and you're stopping at bars, and you're just drinking, and then you're stopping at another bar.
That's lit.
And they'll tell you like the hops and the IPAs and all this percentages and stuff. It's a lot. Personally, I mean, that's just not my. You know, what I mean? Like I like tequila. You know, yeah. I like marijuana. I like red wine. Like that's me. So for me, the beer is just like a lot, and I've seen a lot of people do crazy shit when they're like way drunk off a few pitchers out there because it just hits harder.
Yeah.
What are the smoking laws like out there? Like, can you just walk around and smoke, or like?
Yeah, you could be at a park and like smoke and stuff. You can smoke in your car. You cannot smoke in your apartment, like inside, because you do not own it. It has to be a private space. So you either have to own your. So technically, that's how they can get you, and they will like try to break your lease and fine you and send an attorney. Yeah. You cannot smoke in your unit, like in your actual.
Hey, you just crumbled my whole shit. So I gotta own. That's the only way I can smoke.
It has to be a private space to consume indoors. So we have smoking lounges, like there's the Northwest Cannabis Club. There's the Flight Lounge or whatever, where you can go and you pay a fee.
To the Flight Lounge. That just sounds.
But every time you go, you pay a fee.
Try to go to the Flight Lounge.
It's cool. We got laws out here. It's way more efficient. Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
man.
crazy.
You say you at Harborside
Inc. Yep.
Wait a minute. Now, if I could be mistaken, but if last I remember, that was like one of the companies that was like fighting for the laws. That's on like every
Steve
documentary. Mm-hmm. He was like the dude with the ponytail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's the company you work for them?
Mm-hmm.
My bad, I just had a real life friend.
Gang,
they
that's
like
right.
No, like in the cannabis industry, they're like the OG company.
What did you see?
They run
what
the
are you talking
Bay
about? You
to
seen on a
LA.
documentary?
You go on Netflix, any basic weed documentary when it talks about weed getting legalized.
His name is Dan D'Angelo, I believe. Dan D'Angelo or Steve D'Angelo, when it's like Dan
he even had he even had a series that like went on like and it showed the inside of like his dispensaries when they first opened.
Yes, San Jose, that's Oakland. Yeah, now those stores are grossing $12 million a year.
Wow. Off the loud.
They just opened the first ever drive-through. That first ever drive-through. That's my company.
Where Vegas is.
That's my company. Desert Hot Springs, that drive-through. That's my company.
Mike Tyson did the thing on Jimmy Kimmel at that thing with the.
Okay.
They're doing it. They're really doing it. I mean, it's if you lock down the market, even as an artist, like just to get into these spaces where this is the next wave creatively and financially where we're going.
Yeah.
You'd be smart. It would behoove you not to.
So it's a spot that has a drive-through. You just pull up and order like
Desert Hot Springs, right there in between between Coachella and Palm Springs.
Okay. Is it on the 111?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on that.
Everything's on that goddamn street, man. Highway 111 has every restaurant that Reed goes to that's fire in Palm Springs.
Yep, got it all.
Hey, Palm Springs is fire. Palm Springs is next. Hawaii too. You know.
I heard about this in Palm Springs. It's a big space. It's like a big warehouse space, and you could like, I guess, rent a section of it, and they'll grow your weed for you. But you just rent out the
That's
space.
smart. I mean, and that's the thing that I love about Cali. Like that's something I haven't even heard because I've been over there.
Yeah.
But that's smart. Like if you're thinking the next way forward, it's like your storage unit hydroponic system for yourself. If I'm paying you to grow for me, you're now supplying my monthly habit. I no longer have to go to the store.
Yep.
Smart. That's Netflix for my herb.
Mm-hmm.
That's so tight.
And if you got a little clientele, then you just own
you
it.
pack it out, and you really don't. I pay a monthly fee, and that's it. After that, I need that number though.
I got you right after the show.
Yeah,
that's too much chicken, man. That's too chicken, man.
Sure.
But nah, man, before we get out of here, man, I want to talk a little bit more about some stuff coming up for you in the near future.
Yeah.
You're saying, you got projects coming out. Do we have at least, when the full project, or at least estimating where you think it was going to come?
Yeah. It should be coming out like second quarter-ish sometime is what I'm thinking.
That was the most industry answer. That was perfect. That was great.
Yeah. Expect the video first quarter. Definitely expect some merch and new websites. I am doing more podcast things because I have to get used to like.
I was gonna bring that up too. I remember
stuff.
you were where you were telling me ideas you're gonna have for your podcast you want to start.
Yeah, so I have it's 4 girls. I've met them all in Pacific Northwest, but they're all on the spectrum of like female sexuality. So there's one that's full lesbian, one that's asexual, one that's sapiosexual. And basically it's just touching on like sexuality from the female's perspective, from a female who may not be the normal female.
Right.
That's lit.
Hey, man, we got to have
Very
that happen
interesting.
immediately. Like,
Yeah,
I need that
and
first
they're gorgeous,
episode.
and they're all like, ugh, they're fire. I don't even know. I feel like it's the power of manifestation, right? This is something I was talking to you about maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I just finding a community of women for yourself as a woman, being by yourself is really important. So please, women, like make sure you guys be nicer to each other because you can really like hinder, like it can really hinder you and your development if you do not have that like Sex in the City vibe and those women to kind of go and run just like you guys have with your boys.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think because women are so much more conniving, they're less likely to do it.
And ain't too many shows where I see all women for years.
Yeah, like the
Except
View.
for like the
they're
View.
like the exactly.
And they even switched off members a few times. So
And that's not even relating to the new woman now. So the new woman now that's 25 to 35 or even 18 to 35,
Like, there
that's
is no
a
show.
different woman.
Yeah, true that.
She's
I
tatted.
don't know of an
She's
all show for women
trying
right now
stuff,
in
doing
that
stuff.
age demographic.
Yeah, especially not talking about sexuality too and like pregnancy and like all, not to be weird, but all those things that we nervous about now because we're not I'm not my mom, you know what I mean? And I'm not my grandma. So who I am and what's been done and damage to my body or not damage to my body, affects you. So, people should talk about it.
Millennials and generation, what is it, Z? Y?
Yeah.
Whatever they are after will really, really fuck with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
It's
Yeah.
very relatable,
And they're all different. We're all different races. We're all, different sides of that spectrum. You know what I mean? Even including myself. So I think it works out.
Right.
It works out well. Just like how you guys are doing what you're doing and creating a community. These people probably really listen and really need this.
Right.
And so that's what I'm just hoping to create for my own self and like my
And
fans.
there's
more women around.
There is no that for especially that kind of woman or that young girl
The
right
spectrum
now.
female. Yeah.
There is none. I can't think of like
Nah.
one that's like non-biased, 4 different views, 4 different ways of looking at it, but it's like all one common goal.
Yeah.
And I even hear that through your music though too.
That's
Like,
always
you're
been my thing. That's what high grade essentially means. It was always like presenting yourself as a female, like on a silver platter, like a little higher than above, or like the high grade shelf I'm always going to get my flower from. And you know what I mean? It's a little more delicate. You should just be a little tighter, safer around it. Make sure it's safe, protect it. But when you open it and it's there, it's like abundant and it's unique and it's something to treasure. So that's kind of how I feel about women in general. I feel about myself. And I just feel like that should be like pushed forward. That's just the platform I come from.
I feel you.
That's what's up, man. Well, Mickey, man. Honestly, it's been great having you here, man.
Thanks for having
We
me,
talked a
guys.
lot about Oregon.
Yeah.
A lot about. I think I really am prepared to go up there now.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you got me. So holla at me when you get up there.
For
Have
sure.
you heard of the Day Fade?
No.
Okay.
What's
I know someone up there that does video work for them, and it's like the new poppin' party in Portland area. It's called Day Fade.
Day Fade.
Yeah.
Is it like during the summer?
It's
Maybe?
during, I think
'Cause
there's one
it's
in
raining all the time.
June and August.
Oh, okay.
But he was telling me about
is
it.
I think it's at that Rooftop Division Heights thing. I didn't know the name of it. I think I
Yeah,
know what you're talking
I
about, though.
think
Yeah,
that's
I've been
it.
there. It's popping.
For
And they
real?
have Magic Mondays, too, at the
Okay.
society.
Magic Mondays.
Yeah, they're there. The people of color are there. You just
Yeah.
got to find the community.
I be telling you, Big C, I be knowing about the shit that be
I
going
hate
on.
you know about
The
all
king-
these functions,
I
man.
know where the functions be. I be
King of
hearing
the
about them.
functions.
Not here to the streets.
Man, where can the people get all your music, get your visuals, merch?
Yes,
You.
definitely. You can find me under me, Mickey Taelor, MICKEYTAELOR. I'm on all music digital streaming platforms. All my videos are up online on mickeytaylor.bandcamp.com or YouTube or Tidal or Spotify.
Let's go.
Or all of those.
Hey, man, and definitely you got to come back next time you're back in town.
I'm here.
And
It's my first hip hop podcast ever.
Oh, really? Oh, that's lit.
That's tight.
That's lit,
ArtGoon
man.
Radio.
Well, hey, man.
I can't wait to see that video of that with that
Tiger
you just-
Cub.
Yeah.
Tiger Cub
Can't wait to
coming
see that.
soon.
Yeah, Christmas, first quarter, something like that.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, coming out on my
Single
birthday.
drops November 15th.
Okay.
November 15th.
Big up Empire.
Let's go.
Yeah, November 15th, man. Also, for all your podcast needs, audio and visual, go to productiveculture.com/podcast. In the How Did You Hear About Us section, put in ArtGoon Radio for that special discount. Have your shit sounding amazing. You like I said, shit in the middle of everything.
Amazing.
Amazing. Remarkable. What did I say earlier? What was the...
Something's, I don't know.
Amazingly-
Amazingly.
Oh, amazingly. Yeah, it was for sure amazingly.
Amazingly something. I
think that
remember,
was
man. I
that in the
smoked too
car?
much already.
Jordan's
man.
gonna go back and he's gonna.
Jordan's gonna come back and go look at it, man.
What that rare term was.
All right, man. But also for all your clothes, accessories, go to utblifestyle.shop.
Yeah.
We still got some stuff available from the fall collection.
Couple things.
Hey, is the recap coming, man? What's up?
It's coming.
I'm just wondering. You know, we want the exclusives.
Yes.
You know, I know Thanksgiving. You know, Christmas is coming up.
It's sometime between November and December. It'll drop. I don't want to name any particular dates because then when it doesn't happen, people be trolling me.
Boom.
I'm for sure gonna try it.
Now you see, you gotta.
What's
move
up,
with
Reem?
caution.
Come on, man. Sorry,
Serious.
bro. Fucked up.
For sure, man. And also, but in the meantime, for the Shark Hoodie, the Taelor Gang,
Yeah.
UTB collab Shark Hoodie, go to TaylorGang.com.
Yeah, go in the store and then it's under Wiz's Picks. You know, it's in a
Yep.
little special section.
For sure, man. And, yeah, man. Any final things y'all want to say before we get out of here?
I love talking to artists. You know, millennials. And especially like having a girl perspective on artists. Is this our first girl artist?
Yes, you are
Hey.
the first
Okay.
girl art. Hey, shout that out.
Well, you guys picked right, and so did I.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Anything final words, Marshall?
Candles coming soon, man. Tap in holiday
Yeah, I'm
season.
trying to get some of those. Actually,
We
I
out
heard you
here.
talking about that. I need some.
That's
I need
coming
some.
soon.
Let's go.
All right, man. But anyway, it's the man with the plan. I ain't Clark Kent, but some ladies do call me Superman. Mickey Taylor, thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
That was rare. Whoa.
Yeah,
Dang.
that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was nice, right?
I looked down for a second and I heard that voice. I was like, whoa. Okay, that was good.
That's Mickey Taylor, man.
That's good.
All right, man.
She does this.
Rare ArtGoon. 2 steps, shawty.
Uh-huh.
Tream hef. Big dog. Loudest bark in the park.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
It's your boy Marshall. We out here, man.
It is ArtGoon Radio, man. Peace.
You're tuned into ArtGoon Radio, brought to you by UTB Worldwide. Download our app, available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's just a lifestyle. Don't trip.